Good morning. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to our Commissioners Board meeting for January the 6th of 2022. This is our first Commissioners Board meeting of the year. We are broadcasting live via Microsoft Teams live event, also on BCTV, as well as Facebook and YouTube Live. At this time, I'd like to recognize my Executive Assistant, Anne Marie Grill.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used: Teams Q&A, Facebook, and YouTube. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Anne Marie. At this time, we will begin with a moment of silence, followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we do each week, we will begin with the Berks County COVID-19 data report, along with the Co-County Wellness biweekly update. And that is being presented by Brian Gottschall, our director of the Berks County Department of Emergency Services, and the lead on the Berks County COVID-19 leadership team. Brian Gottschall.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, we unfortunately started our third year of file storage on our server for these COVID data reviews as we go into 2022. Of course, the big news is our case volume here. I think that folks would have to be under a rock if they're not hearing about that. Our case count is dramatically through the roof, very much due to the high transmissibility and spread of Omicron, but based on anecdotal data and discussions with our medical community, it also appears that there's a significant amount of Delta in the community that's being dealt with based on the severity of the illnesses. We of course rely on the genomic testing information that's made available in an aggregated fashion from the state and federal government to understand where we're at, and understanding that in the week between Christmas and New Year's, they originally spoke about a 70% prevalence of Omicron and then downscaled that to somewhere just above 30, but still a very rapid spread of that new variant in our area of the nation. We are really no different than the rest of the nation. Looking at our changes by a county level, we can see that we had an 11% increase in the number of counties designated as high spread and commensurate decreases in substantial, moderate, and low throughout the nation, with just very few numbers of less populated counties still being able to claim the rights of those lower levels of community spread. Pediatric cases, a little bit of a bounce up over the last week. We are hearing again anecdotally from our healthcare partners about more sick kids than we have seen in other scenarios, whether it was with Delta or the original novel coronavirus or the beta variant that affected us much less dramatically here in the United States. But definitely more of an impact to kids than we've seen previously. I do want to emphasize again that the the child impact in number of cases that we're seeing is not dramatically different by percentage than the large percent increase in cases that we saw. So said simply, if cases are up dramatically in the community, you would expect that cases among kids would also be dramatically up in the community. But we don't want to lose sight of the fact that we are seeing more sick kids with this particular variant than we had previously. Our hospital numbers are once again up with respect to total impacts. We want to point out all the important information, and it is worthy of noting here as we look at these percentages at the bottom of the columns that we do see some higher numbers of vaccinated persons being the total amount in the hospitals as well as in the ICUs and on ventilators. Again, I've had people point out to me in Israel how they have these dramatic numbers of vaccinated people in the hospital. Well, in Israel, they're almost 100% vaccinated. So, of course, you're going to see much larger numbers of vaccinated people by percentage. But again, very concerning. We had all hoped that the vaccine was going to be the panacea. We now understand that that's not the case, and it's really about being vaccinated at an individual level to give you the highest level of protection that you can have as a person, more so than to significantly impact the spread of the disease. Our influenza numbers are up a little bit more sharply than they were the week prior. We saw a little bit of a shallowing of that curve in the week prior. In this last week, the curve between the last two dots to the right of this year's numbers, we do see rising a little bit more sharply. Again, we have to keep an eye on this. We've heard of Fluvid now, and in having discussions with our local physicians, we know for sure that St. Joe's has seen at least one example of an individual infected by both COVID and influenza at the same time. And that, of course, is an important thing for individuals like that because they have the risks of both diseases simultaneously. So, we've got to look at this flu thing as both a total impact on our community simultaneous with COVID, as well as the impacts to individuals themselves who we know can be impacted by both diseases simultaneously. And this really does put to rest the assertions of people who've claimed that we stopped looking for flu last year. Not the case. People were getting flu and COVID panels last year, and we just were not seeing the prevalence of influenza in our community that we're now seeing this year as attention to mitigation measures has dropped off. Taking a look at our Cook County wellness reports, again, these bars are showing the percent of success of Cook County Wellness's efforts, not the totality of their work. The totality of their work is realized by adding up the numbers. And you can see when you add up the numbers here in the last 2 weeks compared to the 2 weeks prior, they are getting an enormous influx of work to be done. What we're seeing is that the public is not working with them and their efforts of their work is not being highly successful by percentage of that work. This is both the case here in their case investigations, as well as the follow-on contact tracings that they're able to do from those case investigations. Again, you can see you add the numbers up, they're getting a lot more work to do in the last 2 week period, but the success rate is pretty much flat as far as percentage. We do need to take a look at at CDC vaccine recommendations this week because there have been some changes that we want to bring to the attention of the public. I've highlighted them here. We've seen now the addition of a third dose of Pfizer for moderately to severely immunocompromised kids now all the way down to 5. This had previously been the case only for adults, but now we're looking at immunocompromised kids too as needing a third dose to have a full dose of vaccine. Likewise, in our boosters, we saw a change here. We're now seeing the availability of Pfizer boosters after 5 months for kids all the way down to 16, and discussions about that extending down lower. There's already been FDA approval for that, but we're waiting to hear what CDC is going to recommend. And then likewise with Pfizer, for even those over 18, we now have 3 windows for boosting: Janssen at 2 months, Pfizer for 5 months, and Moderna at 6 months. Again, all based on continuously incoming data showing the effectiveness of these various vaccines after periods of time. Want to remind everybody that we have a COVID testing site here outside of DES at 2561 Burnville Road. If you don't catch all this information here in the report, it's always available at doyourpartberks.com. But the information that we want to convey is that that test site is currently committed through the 15th of January, operating Tuesday through Saturday for the time periods that are shown here. Right now, we can say definitively through the 15th of January. Just a reminder to folks, we'd like you to enter off of Van Reed Road following the arrow. Please do not queue out onto the public roadway. We've been able to get some flaggers here that are helping us to manage this, and they will wave you off if the line is backed up due to the public roadway. It's really surges that are inexplainable. I mean, they're not happening at lunchtime or anything like that. Just at various times throughout the day, large numbers of people show up, the line backs up, and then less people show up, and we're able to move that line through. We do want to emphasize one very important thing. We've been allowing folks to queue up in line early, and folks are showing up as early as 8 a.m. for the 10 a.m. opening. But on Friday, tomorrow, due to the expected snow, we want to get the lot cleared one last time right before we open the test site. And as such, we will not be allowing people to queue up early. So please do not come early tomorrow morning. We will not be able to allow you onto the lot, and we will wave you off. If people attempt to queue on the public roadway, we will be forced to ask Burn Police to help us to move those people along, because we don't want to risk public safety impacts on the public roadway. And as always, we want to again remind folks, www.doyourpartberks.com for information about testing or anything else related to COVID. With that, Commissioners, back to you for any questions, or I'm done.
Thank you very much, Brian. I hope any media on our meeting today will definitely get that information out with your weather reports, WFMZ, Reading Eagle, WEEU. Please let the public know, do not show up early for testing at the Van Reed Road DES testing site. I will ask you this, Brian. Obviously, we're not telling them they can't show up until 10 o'clock. Is there a reasonable time? Can we say at 10 minutes till the parking lot will be clear?
Absolutely. We've asked the contractors to do a last pass through the queuing and testing area between 9 and 9:30. So I think reasonably by 9:30, folks should be able to begin queuing up.
So 9:30 is the earliest people can get in line for testing, and the testing opens at 10 a.m. I will tell people the last several days, the site has had to close early because they maxed out their testing capacity. So if you need to test, it's a good place.
Yeah, this is covered on the Do Your Part Berks website, but we are sponsoring this test site in conjunction with State Department of Health. They set the rules, they set the parameters, and they're allocating for us 450 tests a day. So the site is open for the time period indicated or until we consume 450 tests. And I want to mention, because one of the commissioners actually asked about this, so it's not obvious, I want to make it clear. We're trying to do a really good job in making sure that people don't get in line and sit there for an extended period of time only to get to the front and be told we're out of tests. We're actually counting back the line as we start to get to the end, and in essence marking the last car that will consume our last available test. So we are waving people off before they ever get in line when we get to the point of having allocated our last test, if you will.
Thank you. That's also a very good point, Brian. Any comments, questions from my colleagues? Thank you very much. Continuing with our agenda, are there any additions or corrections for the December 23rd Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. I do want to note we did have an executive session yesterday dealing with personnel, contract negotiations, and litigation. Anne Marie, is there any public comment on specific agenda items?
No, not that I see.
Okay, thank you. Before we go into the agenda, I want to note that back on December the 16th, The commissioners stated that the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance had not provided any reports on their work done on behalf of the county in the area of economic development in spite of an existing contract. That information was incorrect, and on behalf of the county, I want to publicly apologize to the chamber. Very simply, we got it wrong. Three key points that I want to make. One, none of the commissioners were aware that the quarterly reports were provided at the end of each quarter in a timely fashion, as well as monthly meetings with county staff. Secondly, I've spoken personally with Jim Gerlach, the CEO of the chamber, Deb Millman, Vice President of Development and President of the Greater Berks Development Fund, and in a separate communication with Dan Langdon, Board Chair, and offered the apology as well. Three, the issues that led to this mistake on the part of the county are being addressed. Going forward, all quarterly reports will be sent directly from the chamber to each of the commissioners as well as other county staff, and the chamber will provide public reports at least twice each year and more as deemed necessary. Tentatively, the first chamber presentation is scheduled for February 3rd. Our agenda, item 1, authorizing under that human resources, adopt a resolution authorizing human resource recommendations. There's one item. Authorize a salary adjustment for Tracy Evans, Administrative Assistant, Area Agency on Aging. We have one item listed under Commissioner Barnhart. Adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Rochelle Smith, Reading, PA, to the Council on Chemical Abuse Board of Directors for a 3-year term expiring February 1st of 2025. There are several items listed under the Commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution ratifying actions taken by Ronald R. Seaman, Chief Administrative Officer, on behalf of the Berks County Board of Commissioners, issuing a declaration of disaster emergency in Berks County due to the COVID-19. Chief Administrative Officer and County Emergency Management Coordinator shall coordinate the county's activities of the emergency response, work with state and federal authorities, and take all appropriate action needed to alleviate the effects of this disaster, to aid in the restoration of essential public services, and to take any other emergency response action deemed necessary to respond to this emergency. I want to note that all of these things have been taking place without the emergency declaration, but going through a more elongated, time-consuming process. This emergency declaration allows a more speedy response. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to extend the term of temporary easement for construction between the County of Berks and Reading Bucket Services, LLC, Reading, PA, to erect and maintain scaffolding on county property at the 35 North 6th Street, Reading, in connection with the renovation of the Berks Trust Building through August 31st of 2022. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Alan K. Fowler, Lancaster, PA, to the Berks County Local Emergency Planning Committee effective January 6th of 2022. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Pat Paputsis, Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, to the Berks County Local Emergency Planning Committee effective January 6th of 2022. Item E, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the Juvenile Probation Services Grant financial statement for the fiscal year 2021 through 2020 through 2021. Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of the Juvenile Probation Services Grant Agreement documents between the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania through the Juvenile Court Judges Commission of the Office of General Counsel and Berks County for fiscal year 2021 through 2022 in the award amount of $478,868. Item G, adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a letter to Juvenile Court Judges Commission to advise of equitable compensation being provided to juvenile probation personnel in Berks County. Item 2, a motion to authorize execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the attached listing dated January 3rd of 2022. There are a total of 17 contracts, one with the Area Agency on Aging, one with the Berks County Residential Center, 2 with CareerLink, and 13 with Children and Youth Services. Item 3, a motion to authorize execution of payments and electronic transfers is set forth on the Controller's Office voucher listing dated January the 6th of 2022.
Motion to approve the agenda is presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. At this time, we'll turn to our Berks County Treasurer, Dennis Adams, with the Treasurer's Report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have an opening balance today of $167,323,221.98. A balance declared of $1,847,720.12, leaving us with a balance of $165,475,501.86.
Thank you very much, Dennis. And we'll turn now to our County Controller, Sandy Graffius, with the Controller's Report. Sandy?
Our total accounts payable is $4,122,100.58. We have a payroll.
Can you, Sandy, we can hardly hear you. Maybe just get closer to your computer.
I'll turn myself up considerably. Is that better?
Yeah, wait, I think you only turned up your volume. Just get as close as you can to the computer and we'll do the best you can.
Okay, yeah, I turned up my volume. Okay, total accounts payable, $4,322,114.58. We have a payroll this week of $4,376,039.74 for a grand total of $8,698,154.32.
Thank you very much, Sandy. And we'll now move to our Chief Administrative Officer, Ron Seaman, with the Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. In lieu of a report from myself, I would like to call upon Derek Harris, the Economic Development Coordinator, for a brief recounting of the Imagine Berks survey that's currently underway and some initiatives that are being used with that.
Hi, thanks for the floor, Ron. So Imagine Berks is our economic development plan that we're currently working on, and we have a survey out. We're looking ahead for the next 3 to 5 years for economic development efforts and strategy. Public input is crucial in making sure everyone's voice has a chance to be heard in this process. The survey is available at www.imagineberks.org. And as an added incentive, we have 3 $100 gift cards that will be given away at random to 3 individuals who fill out the survey. They're for local restaurants, Jimmy Kramer's Peanut Bar, Mimo's Restaurant, Saucony Creek, their Franklin Station Brew Pub. And we'd love to get your thoughts, ideas, and feedback for this survey. This will be going through the end of January, and the drawing will happen the week following in February.
Thank you, Derek. The only other comment I'd like to offer is with respect to the actions taken on Resolution 3-2022, Title 35, and a resolution adopted back in 2017 authorizes myself to initiate this, but it's subject to being in place for only 7 days. That declaration was done last Thursday, and in accordance with this, the commissioners can now extend that, which you've already done, by that action in perpetuity until it's rescinded or withdrawn. That's the reason for that action. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Ron. And with that, we will move to reports of commissioners, and we will begin with Commissioner Michael Rivera. Michael.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. This may be the first time that you've joined a meeting in this year. We've had our operations meeting on Tuesday. So if you have not joined us before, I hope everyone has a blessed, safe, and healthy and prosperous 2022. And I also want to say Happy Three Kings Day or Epiphany Day. This is one of the main holidays celebrated in Puerto Rico and many Latin American countries as well. And to celebrate that, Mayor Eddie Moran is hosting his third annual Three Kings toy giveaway. It will be today at 3 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel. Children must be present to receive a toy, and masks are mandatory. So if you are in the city of Reading or close by, and you want to bring your kids to see what the tradition is all about and learn more about it, it will be again at the Doubletree today, starting at 3 p.m. And also the PA Dominican Association is having a toy giveaway today for the Three Kings Day, and it will be from 5 to 7 p.m. And this will be at 1158 Buttonwood Street in the city of Reading, and there'll be hors d'oeuvres and hot chocolate and music and entertainment and so forth, and masks are mandatory as well. So these are two events. If you do know of any child that would like to receive a toy and learn about more about the Three Kings Day and how it's celebrated in Latin American countries, please feel free to go to either one of the two events or to both of the events. Also want to let you know that my executive assistant, Barbara Lopez, will be going out shortly. She is due on Saturday, and she does not know I am saying this. So, Barbara, congratulations. Hopefully you will at least hold off till Saturday so we can get this week finished up. But everyone is looking forward to that, and wishing you the best when Isabella does decide to come out.
Commissioner Rivera, did you really just tell your executive assistant to hold off having a baby till Saturday so it helps your office? Is that what
I've told her many times that she can't have the baby until Saturday because there's some things we need to get done. And I think Isabella has heard that because as of now there have been no indications that she wants to come out. So hopefully she will at least wait till Saturday.
I think it'd be nice if Isabella arrived on Three Kings Day.
I believe so as well. So Barbara will be out 6 to 8 weeks after that. And just wanted to let people know, in case you do reach out to my office and there is a little delay in getting back to you, please understand that is why. As many of you know, Barbara is an important part of my office and really has been a great support to my office and to the community as a whole when reaching out and when they need help getting things done through my office. So thank you, Barbara, and best wishes for you, Isabel, and your family.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. And Commissioner Barnhart, see if you can follow that up.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Rivera and Leinbach. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth and say anything about Jesse. So just want to remind the viewers that we have election board meeting at 11 a.m. on Microsoft Teams. A few items, Governor Mifflin campaign finance complaints, follow-up, mail-in absentee ballot printer discussion, Center Township write-in complaints, another follow-up, new polling place authorization. We're looking to move Carnarvon 2 and also Wernersville 1. And then finally, some update from the Voter Rights Act from the federal government. So if you're interested in those activities, tune in on Microsoft Teams at 11 a.m. Thank you. Back to you, Commissioner Linebaugh.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnhart and Commissioner Rivera. I have two items. The first, I want everyone to know that I plan to present my 2021 review and my 2022 goals at our January 27th Commissioner meeting. I'm pretty close to having that complete, but I know that's when I'm planning to do it. I don't know when my colleagues are planning to present that information. I have one other item, and this is bittersweet. A lot of people know that I'm a fan of movies, especially the classics. One of my favorite movies is It's a Wonderful Life, the story of the fictitious character George Bailey, and I think most people know the storyline. He feels like he's a failure as a young man with 3 children at home and his wife, and he's head of a savings loan that's failing, and he wants to end his life. And Clarence the Angel comes into the picture and shows him that he's touched more lives than he could ever imagine. Clarence says at one point in the movie to George Bailey, "Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?" Well, today is Mary Bure's last meeting with a commissioner's meeting, and Mary is a person just like George Bailey. Over the last number of weeks, she's received cards, some gifts, emails, letters, and she said to me on several occasions, "I don't understand why all these people are reaching out to me." And I told her, "Mary, it's because you've touched so many lives here in the county over the last 14 years. You've touched the lives of many employees. You've touched the lives of people who have called the office or emailed the office or sent us letters. You've touched the lives of people that we've met with at meetings and special events. You touched the lives of elected officials locally, at the state level, at the federal level. You've touched the lives of leadership people at the County Commissioners Association and the National Association of Counties. You've touched the lives of almost every single person on our Berks County leadership team. But Mary, you touched my life in so many ways. You've been my critic when I've needed it. You've provided encouragement, direction, advice. You've prayed for me, for God's wisdom and help. You know this job as well as I know it. And your service to Berks County has been just as important as any work that I've done. You're wise, you're diligent, you've been a rock, but you're also humble. You've been courageous, and yet you've been kind. Folks, Mary will be the first person to tell you that she's not perfect. But I want you to know, Mary, that I could not have been what I've been as a commissioner without you as a partner on this team. I'm not only a better commissioner because of you, I believe I'm a better person because of your influence and the impact on my life over these past 14 years as a county commissioner and 5 years prior working together in advertising. I thank God for you, and I pray that God will bless you in whatever He has for your future. I'm not going to, well, I am going to put you on the spot, Mary. I don't know if you want to say anything or if anyone else wants to make any comments, but you will be missed, and this is not to take away from Anne Marie Grill. I want folks out there to understand you were as significant in the selection of your replacement as I was. We did it together, and both of us agreed that Anne Marie was the right person, and Anne Marie is doing a great job. But thank you for all that you've done, Mary.
Yeah, I just want to.
I do appreciate that, Christian. As you know, tears don't come really easily to me, but I was having an issue with that just right now. So it's really been a privilege for me and a great opportunity to be at the county. I've learned so very much. I've met so many wonderful people, and I will be missing being there, but I am looking forward to what God has for the future, and I think He has some good adventures for me. So, but I do appreciate that. And Anne Marie is also doing a very good job, and she will make that transition. So I appreciate it.
Yep. Mary, I just want to thank you for your work. Wish you the best in your retirement. I know Barbara has depended on you a lot, and she's learned a lot from you. You've been her mentor here in the 2 years that she has been here, and every time I asked her something, she said, I don't know, let me check with Mary. So Mary has really helped out a lot. So I want to thank you for your support for Barbara, your support for me as well, and wish you the best in your retirement. May you have many, many years of health and happiness so you can enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Mary,
Thank you.
Mary, 14 years flew by like it was a couple of minutes. And I know I could almost get you to do a hearty chuckle or a laugh when I would say, you just can't make this stuff up. The things we've gone through in the county in the last 14 years and the things people have done and not done, and just unbelievable when you sit in these meetings that we have throughout the course of the week and the months and the years, and you just shake your head and say, I've never thought I'd hear somebody actually would do that as a county employee and other efforts. So it's really been a pleasure to serve with you, Mary. And I know you're going to have a great retirement and enjoy every moment.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And any other comments? Okay. Are there any comments from our row officers?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Congratulations, Mary. It's been really nice working with you. It's a shame we lose you, but life goes on, and I hope you enjoy the retirement. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Okay. Public comment. We have one public comment. This is from Leisha Rowe, and Leisha, you didn't put your where she's from, but Leisha happens to be part of our America 250 PA Berks committee. She chairs our history committee, and she just simply said, beautiful tribute to Mary. I know she's worked with Mary on that committee. So thank you all. I see here a note from Barbara Lopez. Miss you already, Mary. Appreciate that. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mary. Mary's official last day is this coming Monday, January the 10th. She will be in the office, and Anne Marie and I are actually taking her out for lunch that day. I'm not sure where we're going, but I let that up to Anne Marie and Mary to determine that. Anything else on the agenda? Well, there's nothing else on the agenda. Anything else for the good of the order?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
The meeting stands adjourned.